food shortage, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so I'm just going to say right now, if you're listening to my video and you have any small children under 18 or individuals who do not have the mental capacity to not be offended by certain words, that you please take a moment and have them exit the room, because I'm going to be a little bit raw with my next few words. Now, let's talk a little bit. Let's talk a little bit. For the last 2 years, I have heard everybody say, well, I can't go to work because of this, or I was stopped from making money because of this or that. What the hell did y'all think was going to happen when you shut down people and you lock them in their homes and do not give them the opportunity to fucking work? What the fuck do you think is going to happen? Yes, we have a shortage. Why the fuck do we have a shortage? Because those dumbasses up there in D.C. made a decision to lock everybody up and not let people go to fucking work. So for those of you who are sitting there and saying, oh, well, the government has plenty of money. No, the government has zero money. All that money that you're getting for food stamps and welfare and Medicare and Social Security, guess what? It came from people who are working their butts off and paying taxes. That's where that money came from. That money did not come from Senator such and such or Representative such and such. That money come from your neighbor down the road who is working 3 jobs just to make sure that he keeps a roof over the head of his children. And God bless him, because there are guys out there right now, and I'm talking to some of y'all women, y'all know exactly what I'm saying. There are guys out there right now on the streets laying with this female or that female, having all of these babies and not providing for them. And so all those women who are having all these babies and cannot feed those babies are relying on you and I to pay our taxes to feed them. Because the government isn't giving them money. That's coming out of you and my taxpayer money. That's coming out of our taxes. Okay? There's the reality. So the reality is, you thought that you could ride the train for 2 years and there'd be no repercussions. Here's your reality coming to bear on you right now. For those of us who saw this coming, we've stacked it to the rafters. Because we know next year is going to be bad. Now, if you are still so stupid that you cannot figure out that when you lock down a society for 2 years so that the farmers can't get people in there to plant their food, which you buy from the grocery store, which, oh, by the way, now we have a diesel shortage. Yes, we do. So that now we can't even get the stuff from the farms to the grocery stores or to the factories that process the food to put it in the packaging, which goes to the freaking grocery stores. Right? Now we have a backup at our ports because of the fact that the ships have been held up being loaded, so they're all hitting at one time. So you got stuff coming off the ships right now. They've been out there off the frickin' bays for 18 months, waiting to come into port. Now, I don't know how to tell you this, but when you have containers that are made of metal that are on a ship in salt water, because that's, oh, I'm sorry, y'all may not know this, but the ocean is made of salt water. Okay? So they are sitting out there in ocean spray. So that salt water, every time there's a minor storm that comes through, is spraying on those containers. And the little rubber seals that are around the doors on those containers are not going to stop all of that condensation from getting into that container. So what happens is 90% of that cloth and leather products that are on those containers are now mildewed. And if they were packaged in certain plastics, then those plastics, a lot of them have leaked their chemicals into those materials. So what you have is you now have products coming to market that are not sellable. But what's happening is these stores have ordered these products ahead of time, right? Because we're getting ready to move into Thanksgiving and Christmas, and everybody wants to have toys under the tree for Christmas. Well, you've been locked down for 2 years. So a lot of those toys that are going to come off of those ships, the components that are in those electronic toys are not going to work. Reality. They're going to rust up and they're not going to work. Reality. So what happens now? Now you have all these people who are unemployed. And I know y'all sitting there saying, oh, well, the government's going to do this for unemployment. The government's going to do that. Let me tell you something. If you have a credit card bill that is maxed out, and you suddenly have a big bill that you can't make the money for to make that credit card payment, and you got a big bill come up that you got to figure out how you're going to pay it, and you got your credit cards are maxed out, and you have no money, what are you going to do? You're going to go try and borrow it, right? This is what our government has been doing for the last 50 years. They've been borrowing money from all these other countries. Now, here's another reality that you need to realize and get straight in your head, okay? I'm going to talk raw to y'all because this is what I know. I don't know any other way to talk. I'm down here, low income, so I'm going to tell y'all some reality here, okay? The reality is our government is out of money. All of these supposed billions that are going to Ukraine, darling, that money does not exist. That money's being sent over there, washed in bank accounts over there, and then it goes poof. Because that money's already in. Think about it now. That money is already in certain people's pockets already. And so what they're doing now is they're covering their behinds. Or as we like to say on the street, they're covering their ass. So they're making a paper trail so that you don't, if anybody happens to come along and audit things, it's going to appear to be that money went to such and such. When in actuality, that money went into certain people's pockets. There's reality. The government has no money. When you go to the grocery store now, things are twice what they used to be as far as expense goes. Now, for those of you who are on limited incomes like myself, you better think of things, because Medicare is not going to be there. Food stamps are going to go away because we just can't, as a country, we can't afford it. Okay? With all these migrants coming in, they're going to take all of the lower paying jobs, because they'll just take whatever just to make sure that they have a job so they can get a green card to stay here. So they don't care. As long as they got a job, they can get a green card and they can stay here. And that is their whole purpose for coming here, is to get situated in this country. Trust me, they don't want to do those jobs any more than you do. That's reality. But they are bound and determined to help their families out and provide a better lifestyle for their families than what they're fleeing. So they'll take those jobs. Now you, as the American citizen, who are sitting on your fat ass at home, sucking off the government teeth, you're going to die next year. You're going to die not because you don't have any skills, but because you are too fucking proud to go out there and get a lower paying job and make money. And for those women that are having all these babies, God bless you. Now take care of those babies and make sure those babies get grown up with some logic in their brain. And you watch those babies close. Because right now we got people in the schools that are harming our babies. And as a mama, I'm mad as hell. Now, thankfully, both my children are grown. Thankfully. But I don't know what y'all gonna do with some of these school boards not teaching your kids basic math, not teaching your kids how to read and write. My God, I ran into a man the other day at the store who was 20-some years old and could not count change. Did not know that the cashier had just gypped him 75 cents. My God, people. Take care of your neighbor. Mamas, step up to the plate. You run the household. You are queen of your home. You need to take responsibility and make sure that your children are taught basic math, basic reading, and basic writing. And hopefully, you'll encourage them to improve themselves and to be better than you are, financially speaking. I'm saying this because I have seen some of the stupidest actions and heard some of the dumbest comments in the last 2 months. You go on YouTube and it's all over the place. Well, do this, you know, the government has this stimulus or that stimulus. The government has no money. How can they have a stimulus for this or that? All of these companies that are doing work for the government are doing it on a charge account. They might get their money, they might not. They're doing a roll of the dice on that. And now you're talking about sending our troops overseas to fight somewhere else? Are you crazy? Our troops belong here. Our troops need to be here to help rebuild our infrastructure, to help secure our country, to secure our borders, to take care of our inner cities and clean up all the crime and the drugs and the rapes and the murders that are going on in our inner cities. Some of our inner cities are freaking war zones. And if you live in the projects, come on. You feeling me right now. I know you are. When you go to bed at night and you're worried about a bullet coming through your wall because of where you live at, there's an issue. All these people saying this lives matter or that lives matter. Let me tell you something. Every life is precious to their family. Every life is precious. Everyone. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what sexuality you are. I don't care what color or nationality you are. You're special. I don't care if you're fat, skinny, or skeleton. If you're alive and you have the wherewithal to feel, you're special. Don't let yourself be fooled by these people claiming to have your best interest at heart. You know as well as I do that all of those people that are up there are lying, two-faced motherfuckers. They don't give a fucking rat's ass about you. I told you I was going to get raw. I told you I was going to speak some truth to you. So let me get even rawer. Those son of a bitches up there all work for the same team. This one scratches that one's back. This one gets that kickback from here or there. And you know what the hell I'm talking about. Now, for those of you who have money, what the fuck are you doing? Why aren't you helping your people? Why ain't you out there trying to improve people's lives? Not by giving them things. Because in the Bible it says, if you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. But if you teach him to fish, he'll eat for life. So those of you who have money, you need to be helping people and teaching people how to succeed. Stop being greedy. Stop sucking off the government teeth and taking every damn penny you can take from the American people. We can't take it anymore. Alright? We're already starving. There's already people in West Virginia, Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi that barely have food on the table every day. There's people in New York who eat one meal a day because they can't afford to eat three. There's children in this country who do not have a change of clothes. They have one set of clothes. That is to go to school in. And they got one set of clothes to wear around the house and sleep in. And that's it. and they have to wash it by hand in a sink every day. Do you feel me now? Now, when I say that you're going to die next year, and you're telling me, oh, well, you're just out your butt. Okay. What's going to happen when you go to Food Line or Walmart or Kroger or Aldi and try to use your EBT stamp credit card and it's rejected? Because that's going to happen next year. Or worse, you go there, but the stuff is so expensive, you can't afford to buy it. You better start making some communities, folks. You better start holding these politicians and these people who have rule over us accountable for what they're doing in your counties, in your cities, in your states, and at the government level. We need to hold them accountable, folks. We just had the midterms. Do you see how that went? Because as far as I'm concerned, you had a choice between the red or the blue. And both the red and the blue are all purple. Because they both the same thing of the same coin. For the last 75 years, they've been sitting there saying they're going to fix this or fix that. And what have they done? Nothing. They haven't improved the inner city. In fact, have they even replaced the water lines in Flint, Michigan yet? Or has everybody moved out of there because they couldn't afford, they couldn't afford to drink that water anymore? Have they even done that? Because that was all in the news and everything. They talk about all this news and everything, but they don't do nothing. So here's the reality. Those of us in the neighborhoods and in the counties, we need to do for our neighbors. We need to stop relying on those people up there in D.C., on those people up there in the freaking governor's offices, on those people up there in the county offices. We need to stop relying on them. Because they're not doing anything for us. We need to do it ourselves. If you are in a neighborhood and you know that the children in your neighborhood need mentors or need help learning something, go volunteer an hour or two of your time for those kids. Now, mamas, you be sure you check every one of those people that are volunteering. Because there are people out there who claim that they want to help your children, and they are predators. So you be real careful about who you let teach your children what. You be real careful about reading what the school is teaching your child. That's your responsibility as an adult. Now, you fathers out there, don't think that you're going to get off the hook. It is your responsibility as the man and the head of the household to take care of all of your children, to make sure that they are fed, they are clothed, and they have a roof over their head. They might only eat a potato a day, but if that's all you can do, then you need to step up and do that. It is not your job to live off your mama's income. It is not your job to go down there on the block and hang with the boys and smoke crack or do whatever and just hang with the boys and fuck that mama and fuck that child. I ain't worried about that. That's not my problem. That is your problem. Because you hear me right now. For every child that you have laid with a woman for and made through the grace of God, God is going to hold you accountable for at the end of time. For every child that you've made and then you paid to have that woman kill it, God is going to hold you accountable at the end of time. That's the reality. That's the truth. And I know that's going to offend all kinds of people. But that is the reality. I'm telling you truth, and I hope you take it as truth. You need to step up to the plate, men. You need to be the head of the household, men. These women are acting this way because you are not stepping up to the plate and being the head of the household. They are acting this way because you think it's manly to slap a woman. That's not manly. Manly is loving that woman because she is the other half of you. Manly is giving your life for that family, which is what my Lord Jesus did for everyone on this planet. Now, you can argue with me about that all you want. I'm not going to back off from that. That is the example that he set. You are the head of the household. You are supposed to be taking care of your family. That's what you're supposed to do. And if you see a family next door that does not have a man in the house, and you are aware of that situation, then as a man, you should step up and try to help that family in any way you can. Now, that doesn't mean give money. That doesn't mean give food. It could mean give them 5 minutes a day just to say, hi, how you doing? To listen. Parents need to be parents again, not friends. You have to train up those children. You have to teach those children. Because right now, we've got children who were never taught how to be an adult trying to play adult. Because they don't know how to be an adult. They don't know how to pay bills. They don't know how to pay the electric bill. They don't know how to pay the water bill. They are so far in debt that they are shooting themselves because they can't pay the bills. There's reality. Let's step up to the plate, folks. We need to do that. Okay? I'm not worried about wars overseas. I'm worried about the children here. I'm worried about the country here. I'm worried about my neighbors here. That's what we should be worried about. And that's just that's just some of the thoughts I got from this week. Because some of the comments I've heard this week have just been absolutely off the chain stupid. I mean, absolutely stupid. I can't afford to prep. Can you afford to buy a can of rice or soup? Or, hello. You're telling me you cannot buy ramen. You're telling me you can't buy potatoes. My God, woman, you can grow those yourself. You can grow those in a closet as long as you have a light. Seriously. You need to stop making excuses and adult up. Okay? The time has come where if you don't adult up, you're going to die. That's the reality. Because no one is going to come help you. You're going to have to step up and help yourself. And the comments I heard this week were so off the chain stupid that I literally had to come on here and get a little bit raw with y'all folks to let y'all know that, oh my God, y'all need to wake the fuck up. Wake up. The government's out of money. Government has no money. The churches, the food banks are almost empty. What more do you need to show before you wake up and do something? Oh, you're uncomfortable. I'm sorry if you're uncomfortable. I'm not going to change my life because you are uncomfortable. You need to go somewhere else, into a safe space or whatever, okay? Because if you're uncomfortable, well, I'm sorry, at least you're alive. There's a lot of people who aren't. Wake up, folks. Do what needs to be done. Start helping your neighbors out. Start being involved, okay? Hiding in your house is not being involved, all right? And that's all I have for you. A very long rant, and I'm sorry if that offends anybody, but I'm just giving you my thoughts on the matter, okay? Because I think right now, what's going to happen is we're going to go into World War III, and then what's going to happen is a lot of our young women and men are going to go over there and they're going to die, and then you're going to have people here crying and carrying on, at the same time that we've got famine going on worldwide, and it's going to only exacerbate the problem here at home. And for those who don't know, that means it's just going to increase the problems here at home that we already have. And so more people here are going to go without, and eventually we're going to start having starvation here. Because we're already on the brink of it now. We already have trains that are not running like they should. We already have trucks that are not running like they should. There's no freight. Okay, I can tell you that as a truck driver. The freight is very low. This is the lowest I've ever seen freight. So yeah. Be aware of the time that you're in. You're in the time that occurred, the same thing occurred in the 1930s, right before World War II and right before the Great Depression. And what's going to happen over the next 2 years, I think is going to make the Great Depression look like a hiccup.